Okay, so let's start for with 2. For with 2, we are going to talk about the auto layout and then the delegate button. If you find that the with 1 is quite simple. From with 2 moving forward, with 2, with 3 onward, then it will be the assignment will be much more harder. And first thing of all, I would like to say that congratulations that you still here. Two people only withdraw from this club, so uh, they didn't finish the assignment and could not join the class and they withdraw. And just a warning for you that with 2 is from the historical data. With 2 is the with that a lot of people withdraw from the class. So if you can survive through with 2, then you're good to go. Right. From after with 2 and with 3, the homework will be similar. It should be okay. And before I go this one, I would like to this is some of the highlight. I didn't have time to put that one into the slide, but some of the good submission from last week. We have actually I had 3, but I couldn't open one of them. They give me like 2 bits or something. I couldn't open that one. You seen it? Which one? Right. Okay, one more. I don't know from who. Kong. Yeah. So you see, if you compare this one with the one I did the walkthrough during class last time, so a lot of new feature and good animation, good UI as well. This is, we have the collection view, and we have the tab here. For the search function, it's actually not search but just filter. So we filter from whatever you already get from the API. So you pull from the API, you get 20 movies, right? And then when you search here, whatever you find this one. What do I see? Yeah, it had the API for search, but in the scope of assignment 1, it's just we just use the filter. It's not just this one. So another nice. So you see a lot of animation, right? It fades in and out, so making a good transition from view to view. So yeah, this is these are the 3 top submission for last week. So thank you for everyone. Okay, so go back to assignment 2. So this is for assignment 2. So again, this week we talk about the auto layout and delegate, right? And the assignment for this week will be the Yelp. So Yelp is the app that look like foodie. So it's look like foodie in Vietnam, but it's only available in US market. So if you can download this one, but if you run the app, it will not work. It detects that you are in Vietnam and it will not work. So it's only available in the US. So it's like similar to Yelp, similar to foodie. You will see if it's list out a list of restaurant around you, and then you will search here. So for this assignment search, this is like the real search function. You will search, you will type in some keyword, and then you will search, and it will pull the data from network. It's not like filter like assignment 1. And then on this one, on the second page, you have the filter. You click on this filter, it will show this one. And for example, you want to look in for the restaurant which is offering a deal, or the restaurant around like 5 kilometers around you. You want to look in for the American restaurant, Thai restaurant, something like that, and this will be on the filter. After you click on filter, click on search, it will go back to the this page, and we will reload the data for you based on whatever the filter you just set. Okay. This one I don't have the app to do the demo because all the apps still in the script 2.2. I didn't convert that one. Okay, never mind. I can show that one to you later, but you get the idea for the app, right? From the gift here. Okay, so how we going to do that one? I would like to have some quick introduction on the Yelp API. So if you go here, where is it, the Yelp API? Yelp development page. Okay. So here we have the Yelp API, and if you click on this link, you can go there and then you can register for an account. This time you can go ahead and register for your own account. for the developer account for the Yelp, and then you can access this API, and this is the documentation for the Yelp API. So when you go into this API, for now we just care about the search API. Right? See this one. So just click on this one, and then you will see all the documentation for the search API. So for this one, the search API will have some parameter like term. Term is the keyword that you want to search. For example, you want to search for food, for burger, for coffee or something. You should put that one. This will be the keyword. And later, when you implement the search bar, this is whatever you put in the search bar will be the term. Remember that one. We have something else that's, for example, this one, the radius. Radius, it's a optional. Optional means it's up to you if you want to set the radius. If you don't set the radius, it will be auto, and it will be looking for like 20 miles from you. So because this one is from the US market, so it used mile instead of kilometer. Something else like category. Category, for example, you want to search for American food, for Thai food. Later I show you what is the category. What else? What else want to looking at? Limit. So limit is also optional. So by default, the limit will be 20, meaning every time you call the API, it will return to you only 20. Maximum only 20 results. We have something else we see required like longitude and latitude. So meaning the location where you want to like your location. From that location you want to search for the radius, like for example 10 kilometers from that location, and you will need to set the longitude and latitude. But in this assignment, we only set the location for you, which is in San Francisco. Don't try to set that one anywhere else because it only work in US. So you don't need to change that one. Just try to learn the API implementer thing. And this is how the result look like. Right? For example, you search for, I don't know, this is search for something, but this one it return like 8,000 results, meaning with that term it can return 8,000 results. But within this one, it only lists for you 20. As I said before, the limit for API, if you don't set that one, it's just return maximum 20 for you. And then later if you want to get the next 20, then you need to set the offset. Meaning you set the offset equal to 20, it will get the result from 21 to 40. And then you set offset equal to 40, it will get from 41 to 60. Remember that one, later you will need that one to do the infinite loading. You know why infinite loading? Like you just keep scrolling up, and then it will keep loading the new data for you. Right? If you scrolling till the end of the table, and then hey, I'm at the end of the table, please continue to load 20 more for me. Right? Then you need to set the offset equal to 20. You will get 20 more from 21 to 40 for you. Okay, that's how are you going to implement the infinite loading. Just one of the optional in the assignment. Okay, so when you get this one, you will have a list of the businesses, and you will have something like for this API, it will not return for you the price. The price is like how cheap is that restaurant, like very cheap or high price or high quality or high classes. It's always return you dollars also. Never mind about that one, we don't care about that one. What we need to care about is the name. The name is like the restaurant name, the URL. So this is the URL of that restaurant. Never mind, you also don't care about that one. But you will need this one, the image URL, meaning that will be the image of the restaurant. And remember, this one is, if you notice, this one is HTTP. It's not HTTPS. So remember what you need to do. Yeah, disable the apps transport security, right? And so we will, from this one is just return. This is one business, and you'll be able to get the name, the address, the category, and then the image URL. That's good enough to put it in the this one on the first view controller. You have the image URL, the name, the distance, this one a review, and how many review. We have the address here, and this is the category. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. We will do some real demo now. And how are we going to start? So if you read from this one, you see the getting started. So if you click on this one, it will have a repo for you. So you just clone this repo, and we start from here. From this repo, let me open this one. So that's repo called Yelp starter, and then if we open this one, okay, what we have here is that we only have the bot. We only install the bot for you, so it's either AF networking and BDB or what one manager. So what is this? This one we will talk about this next week. For now, you just use it. So we only have the bot, and then already have the bot installed, everything ready for you. You just clone this project and you can start from here, right? And from this one we have one view controller, the business view controller on the main storyboard, actually empty. So let me check. Okay, so now it's just an empty view controller, nothing here. Okay, and we have the business view controller here. And if you go under the Yelp API, so this is the code. We only write this one, so you just need to you start from here, and then you can run this. You can get the data from API already. So for this API, it's not like the movies API. It doesn't require the authentication. But for the Yelp API, it requires the authentication. That's why we and how are we going to pass the authentication? We using this one, but I will talk about this one next week. So for this week, you just use this one and you can run. Okay, the award manager. You don't need to care about this one for now. Okay, and then let's run this one and see what do we have. So when it's run, what do we have here? This will call the business and search. I'm looking for the Thai restaurant, and whatever I get, I will return here, and then I will print the name and the address here. Right. So look at the console. What do we have here? See a list of restaurant, right? We have the name and then the address of the restaurant. Okay. So if you start from here, you already have the API. It's already connected to the Yelp API and it's ready to return you something. You just need to know how to display those information on the on your view controller. Okay, and now we are going to do that one. Okay, so this is our view controller, business view controller, right? And if you click on this one, it's already associated that one with the business view controller, right? And so last week, one thing from last week, we disabled auto layout, right? So what is the auto layout for? It will be for you to working on multiple devices, right? It's like iPhone 6, iPhone 5, iPhone 4 have different screen size, and how are you going to make your app to be adaptive with your screen, right? Okay, so if you notice here, so for now we don't disable that one. From now on, we will use auto layout. You don't want to disable that one. Okay, so it's still here, right? The use auto layout here. Okay, so what we are going to do? We need a table view, right? Okay, so last time, what we will do? We put a table view here, and then we drag the table view like all the way to be full screen, right? But now, because we are going to use the auto layout, we will not do it that way. So you drag the table view here, and then if you click on this one, the third icon called pin, So if you click on this one, you see here, add new constraint. So constraint is the concept of the auto layout. So to be able to specify the location and the size of one item, then you need to add the constraint for that one. So you see here, one thing, constraint to margin. So by default, when you add the on your view controller, the margin will be a pixel each side. So a pixel from top, left, right, and bottom. So I don't want to use this one. I just disable it, and then I say I want to set my table view. I set the constraint for my table view for all the sides, from top, left, bottom, and right, and I set 0 to everything. Okay, so I add 4 constraint here. See this one? Add 4 constraint, and then now you see some yellow, some orange things here, and then if you click on this one and you say update frame, okay, so it will be this look weird. Is it? Why that? Never mind. So if you go and click on update frame, so it will make your table view to be full screen, like that one. So that's how you set your constraint for the table view to be full screen, right? And then you drag in the table view cell. So you should be familiar with this one, right? Drag in the table view cell here, and then what do we have for the cell? We need an image view. Okay, I put the image view here. For now, for this cell, I didn't add any constraint. I just put it there first. We need some label. Right, this will be the, we call this one the name, right? And then you can do the option and then click on that one to do the copy. So we have this one will be the distance. For example, 5 cam. We have we need some more. What do we have here? The and it's smaller. This one will be the reviews image, right? And then we have here the number of review. We have the address here, and then we have the category, right? This one, for example, like 1, 2, 3 reviews. Just some example to make you have an idea how your cell will be look like. This one I made it bigger, too big, smaller. I made one bold. Okay, this one will be the address. And then this one is the category. Okay, something like this. So this is how your cells look like, right? And what you need to do, you need to create a table view cell class, right? So create new one. So this will be the subclass of the table view cell, and I call this one business cell. Okay. Okay, so need to go back to this one and click on the cell and saying that hey, this cell will be the subclass of the, no, click on the cell. This is so small. I click on the cell and I say this one will be subclass of the business cell, and we also need to set the identifier, right? The review identifier, right? I hope you still remember that one. Okay, so what next? You should be familiar with this one. We will do some outlet. For the first one, I will create the outlet for the table view. So click on the table view, control drag, and say table view, right? Then what you need to do for the table view, set the delegate in the data source, right? So what is the extension? Last time I didn't talk about this one. The extension means you can extend this one, your current class. Why I didn't do it? If I don't do this one, I can like put here it will be inherit from this one, and then the UI table view delegate, UI table view data source. But then I put everything within this class. It will be getting bigger, and this is just to increase your readability, your code readability. So I say that this one will be inherit from UI table view delegate and then UI table view data source. Same thing. So I don't want to put the code here. I just want to put the code here. It's nothing different, right? So on this one, we will set the table view dot delegate and then table view. Okay, so two things you need to implement. What that? So Xcode will complain here. So number of, you just type here and it will auto complete, and then it will remind you what you need to do. Number of row in session, right? And then here I will return. What will I return? If you look at here, we have the businesses. We array of the business. So we have the class called business. Here we only implement this one for you. You just use it. So we had the class business. We did an add object within that one. We had the name, the address, the image URL, and then here you see the array of that image, array of that business. So we just use this one. So if I just check this one, if that one not new, if business is new, then I can return, right? And now if it's new, just return 0. Okay, the next one will be what? Cell for in the back. Okay, right. I just need to remember a few words, and then you can auto complete. Okay, so what do we need to do here? Let's cell equal to table view dot dequeue, right? Still remember this one? Do the dequeue for memory management, and then this one business cell, right? And we cut this one into the business. Okay, so how we going to set the image, set the name, set the thing, right? We didn't create the outlet for the business cell, right? It's still empty, and then we need to create the outlet for that one. So let me go back to the main storyboard. Okay, and then we click on whatever the item within the cell and associate that one. Okay, so we have it here. Make sure this one is automatic, and you select the business cell. Create some space here. We will have this one. We call the rest the run image. Okay, restaurant image, and we had the okay, made it bigger. Why so small? Okay, made it bigger. So we have the name label. We have the distance label. Well, this one the image. What review image? And the review count label. We have the label and the category. Okay, so everyone still follow, right? It's still very familiar with this one after you finish the assignment 1, right? Nothing new up to now. The only thing is the auto layout for the table view, just very yes.
Is there any file that you manage nothing is sometime right, and then I make a mistake, so then I have to go all the way to it?
Yeah, if you drag this one and you did some mistake, if you just delete this one, it still crash. You need to go back here. If you right click on the category, you see it's still linked. You need to remove this link, and then you create again.
So that's
Yeah, This is the only way. Category label. Okay, so we only create a outlet for this one. So here, before, what do? We will have like something like cell and then dot name label. Why it doesn't autocomplete? Because I didn't save this one. You need to save this one. If you see something like gray out like this one, it means you changed something but you didn't save it. Only after you save it and then you can have the autocomplete. See, before we do something like this one, right? And then now I show you something. We can make your code cleaner. You don't need to put everything here. So just comment this one and go back to the business cell. So I want to set everything inside this file. I don't want to set from my view controller, right? And how are we going to do that one? So we create a variable here called business. Is it business? And then this one the type of business. So this is we create a model business before. Remember that one, right? And then what do we have here? This set. Okay, so what does it mean by this set? This one. Okay, so what does it mean by this set? So meaning wherever you put the code here, after you set this variable, it will execute the code within this set block. So what I need to do is go back to this one and I just say cell.business. Again, I didn't save it. Okay, from here just say cell.business equal to so where I got this one, businesses, and then we have the index bar.row, right? So as soon as I assign this one to the variable called business for this cell, it will execute the code within this one, right? So by doing that way, I can move all the code from the view controller to the view. This is the view of your table view cell, right? Because later you will have your table view, you have like multiple cells. This cell for example, this cell for the business, this cell for the user, and then you have two different things. You don't want to put a bunch of code in your view controller. That's why you doing this way you can put the code in correct the table view cell. Okay, so what we do from here is now you can set like the name label, and it should be equal to business dot name. Yeah, something like that. If you look at the business here, we only have that something like name, address, image, URL, categories, something like that. And you should just assign this one, and you will be able to get the thing on. Just to save time, I did that one. I just copy the code. Okay, so we have the business cell here. After you do the this set, and then you just set this bunch of things. Let me go back. Okay, how does it still work? Okay, so what do you see here? Set image with URL, so you need to import what? AF networking, right? People at the back, can you see the screen? You want me to make it bigger? Because it's made bigger, I had less space for working. Okay, so after we set this one is rest on the image. I did. Okay, this is a typo. Never mind. Okay, so what do we have? Let's go back to this one. So we set the table view delegate and table view data struct here. We specify what is the cell, and then what we need to do here is after you do this API code, I don't want to print it out anymore. What I want to do is cell dot table view dot reload data. So a lot of people forget about this one, right? in your assignment, if you forget this one, you what the heck, why nothing show up after you finish, nothing show up, right? You just had an empty table. Okay, so let's run this one to see what do we have now. Boom. Okay, so what we have is an image view, some name, some distance, a the address here, the category here, the image, the review image, like how many star that the user rating for this one, and how many reviews, right? But what happened with this one? This is some your test is being trimmed, right? It's like here, dot here, dot here, and how we are going to resolve those the case. All right. Okay, so let's go back to the storyboard. Remember, before we didn't set any constraint for this cell, right? We just set the constraint for this table view. Now we are going to set the constraint for this table view cell. So first of all, for this one, so how are we going to specify the location and then the size of one item? Again, you click on this one. For example, I say I want this image to be 80 by 80. Okay, and then before, remember, you see some yellow thing, some orange thing. Now it become red. Red means what? Red means you still missing something. Orange means you only add enough thing, but it's not in correct position. You just need to click on this one and say update frame. It will move that thing, move that item to correct position and correct size for you. But now if you click on this one, it will go nowhere, because for now I just specify the width and the length of this image cell. I didn't specify where is it. I didn't specify the location, right? So how are we going to set the location? Again, I click on this one and I say, hey, I want this one and this one. I say like I want this episode from the top and then episode from the right. Why I don't need to specify this one, right? That's enough, right? You need to identify and to specify the top left corner of one item, and then it should be okay. So now it's become orange, right? And then you just got command option and equal. So that's the shortcut for this one, update frame. So again, command option and equal. I will do the shortcut, and then if later you watch the video and then you don't know what I did, remember that one. Okay, the next thing, the name. Now so for the name, I will specify. So you see here, I click on the name and then control click on the name and I drag here. See, I drag the name to the image view, and I say I want this one to be the same top with the image view. Look at it again. So I click on the name and control and drag on the restaurant image, and when I delete this one, I say this one I want to set the same top. So I click on top. So now I have this one will be the same top. One more thing, I control and drag again, and I say I want a horizontal spacing. See, so when I click that one, you see a little hint here. This one, right? So if you see from here, say the name label dot leading equal to restaurant image traveling plus 6, meaning I specified from the distance from this one and this one is 6. If you don't want that one, you want to increase, and you go here, say, hey, I want this one to be bigger, for example 8. Okay, and then name. You see all the yellow thing, the orange thing means it's okay for now. Just get on this one. So it will be like that. Similar thing, I will set this one. It may be bigger. Okay, I set the distance to be the same top with the name. Okay, and I want to specify the distance This one I say one is 10 pixels to the right. Okay. So that's it. So why for the label I don't need to specify the width and the height. For the image view I need to set as one, right? But for the label, you see what I did is just I set the S and Y position of the label. I didn't set the width and the length. Yeah. Yeah. So because this one that it inside of one is test, right? And the test can expand, right? So what it means is for the label just set the instant length. So later if this one the name will be bigger and then just it grow. You don't want to specify hey, this one is just 50 pixels. If don't grow more than that, right? Okay, so similar to this one, I will set this one to this one. I want this one to be the leading, the same leading, meaning that we create the left side of this one and this one to be the same. Okay, and I set this one and this one I want to create a vertical spacing. Okay, and again this is for the image view, then you need to set the width and the height, right? So I set this one to be, for example, 70 and then this one 20. Okay, and this one I set this one to, what happens if I set this one the arrest and then the image the review image to be the same leading? You want to set to this one or this one? Any idea? Yeah, it's okay to set to this one or this one, but what we recommend is you set to the one on top. Why? So the reason is that if you set this one and this one also to be the same leading with the first one, the first item, because why? Later, for example, you want to move the name, you want to create more space between the name and then the image view. Then if you move this one, and all the thing will follow the name, right? If you set this one to the image view, then this one follow the image view, then you need to track all the thing. Just set everything to only one thing. Where am I? So this one to missing the, okay, missing the vertical spacing with this one, and this one same thing. Set the vertical spacing with this one, and the leading. Okay, we forget this one. I want this one and this one to be. If I want to set the constraint between this one just command and no, the control and click on that one, and then I want to set the horizontal spacing, right? And then what else? The here you see something new, so I say center vertically, meaning this one will be aligned on the center point. Okay. After you finish this one, you can like select everything and then update frame. Okay. So now it will be something like this, and then let's run it to see what happened. Okay, so now remember before you had some dot, right? But now you don't see the dot anymore. But what happened? It's overlap, right? This one is overlap on like this restaurant is very long name and it's overlap with the distance label. And then what else? For example, this one, the address is also so long. It go like off the screen. It's okay to because you run on iPhone 5 screen, so it's off screen. But if you run on, for example, iPhone 6 Plus, maybe we have enough space, right? But that because we don't know the user will run this one on whatever the screen size. So how are we going to solve the problem? Now something like this, not what we want, right? Okay, so the first thing is for this one. Now we want, because like we only have the on the s-axis we only had like this length, and we don't want this one to overlap with this one. We may want to create this one to be multiple lines, right? So for now, for example, I just set the address and then the name to be multiple lines and see what happened. How to set that one? Remember? Set to 0, right? And address also 0. Okay, and then run again. Okay, so now it's still not working. We're still missing something. It's still like go all the way there. Okay, so what we need to do is that, hey, I say, you see here, we didn't have any constraint from this one and this one. It the name is just grow, and then it overlap on the distance label. So what we do is we set the constraint from this one to this one. I say I want the space between this one and this one. But all the time you see is the relation is the equal relationship, meaning that distance equal to something. But now you don't want to set the equal relationship, but what you want to set is the inequality constraint. Then you say this one, hey, I'm okay if this one greater than some distance, I'm fine. Or I say, hey, I'm okay if that bigger than 15, I'm okay, right? And then what we need to do for this one, the address. So for now, you see here, it's go all the way off the screen, right? Hey, I say I want to have this constraint region. Okay, A. So A pixel. Okay, something like that. It don't go off the screen. Okay, and then let's run again. Okay, so now look at this one. Where the distance label is being pushed away. It's somewhere here, right? It's pushed. This the name is just push away the distance, and then for the address, I want to look at this one. So now the address become 2 lines, so it should be okay now, right? But we have something here, right? When this one become 2 lines, and then this one will go down, and then it's like just on the edge of the cell already. So later we show that one, but we need to show this one first. I want this one back, right? The distance label. Okay, so let's go back to the slide. We have one thing here. So in S code we have 2 things. You read this one, the content hopping priority, and then the content compression resistance priority. Here I show where is it, but now I'm talking about what does it mean. So the first one on the content hopping. So you look at some cool cartoon here. The first one meaning I'm not gonna let you grow. So when we set this one, I say, hey, if you grow, you can grow, but if you reach this size, don't grow anymore. Don't grow in this way anymore. That's the meaning of hogging. So I just let you grow to this big. After you reach this big, then you need to go somewhere. Don't grow this way anymore. And on the other side is the content compression, meaning hey, don't compress, don't shrink. You can shrink, but if you reach this distance, don't shrink anymore. I want to see you at least this big, right? So that's the meaning. And then go back to our S code. How are we going to use this one? So you see here the name, and then you click on the ruler here and scroll down. You will see the content hogging priority. For now it's set to 51, just some number. By default is 251, and then the compression resistance priority 750. And then you click on this one, it's the same thing. So meaning this one and this one same priority. So the first one, which one we use, the hogging or the compression? The hogging, right? Say, hey, the name you can expand this bit, but if you reach certain level, don't expand anymore. So meaning I say that, hey, for this name, I want it to be lower priority than this one. this one higher priority, so it will stay there. This one you had lower priority, so when you reach a certain level, then you need to go somewhere. So let's set this one to 250, and this one is still 251, right? Meaning I set the content hooking for this one is smaller than this one, and then let's run and see. Okay, so you see what is still not showing up, so it's still missing something. One more thing, we go back and here this one I say I want this one to be also higher on the compression. You also see this one is it compressed the distance label, so it becomes smaller. So I want to set this one to higher as well, and then we run. I don't want this one to shrink, and I also don't want the name to be expand too much. Okay, so now you see we have the distance label here. It stay there in full test. It's not being chopped, being trimmed, right? And then this one, if you are too long, then you need to go to a second line. Don't push me away.
So the value there is the priority, the rank.
Yeah, the value is the priority. So
So
it,
if you put 2 and 1,
whatever you want to put, whatever. Just if this one is bigger number, then that's one meaning I'm higher. I have higher priority. But like by default, it's set for the hooking, the range is 250, and then for the compression, the range is 750, because you don't want to overlap the other thing. Because later you may have like multiple items, not just two. In this case, symbols you have just had two, but for example, they have like 4 or 5 things on the same lines you want to set. That's it. You have like thousands of choice. This range is from 1 to 1000, right? Yeah, from 0 to 1000, then you have thousands of choices, and then you can set whatever the number you want. But by default, 250 for hooking and 750 for compression. Okay, so let's go back to this one. See, so now you able to show the thing that you have long restaurant name, right? And it's not pushing away the distance label. Okay, the next thing we need to show is this one. If the address or the restaurant name become 2 lines, you push this one down, and this doesn't look good, right? This look nice. We want at least some gap like this, right? So how we going to set that one? Okay, let's go back. Okay, now I say for the image view, I want to set the constraint for the bottom constraint. I say, hey, I want at least some gap from the bottom of the image view to the edge of the table view cell. So for example, I say this one, I want at least 12. I don't set the margin. I want at least 12. So when I say at least, mean you need to set that one to be the inequality, right? Okay, so now I say, hey, I want the bottom of this one to be at least 12 pixels to the edge of the image view cell. And then I do the same thing for the category. I set the same thing, 12. And then that one will be the inequality. So what does it mean here? What does it mean? I set for bold. Let's run to see what happened first. And okay, it doesn't work. One thing I forget. I go back to the business. So when we do this one, what we expect is if this one like 2 line or this one 2 line, the cell will be higher, right? You don't want the cell all the time will be the same. In assignment 1, what we did is you just all the cell will be same height, right? You set the height, for example, the cell height is 100 pixels, then you have 100 cell will be 100 pixels, nothing different, right? But in this case, some cell will be higher than other cell, because if like this one has like 2 line or the address is 2 line, it should be higher. Then how are we going to set the dynamic height for the cell? So let's go back to this one. We need to set two more things. Table view dot height. What that the row height equal to UI table view automatic dimension. Okay, and then one more table view dot estimate row height. For example, like that. So what does it mean for these two rows? So the first one you say that hey, I want to set the row height to be dynamic, and then the second one you say hey, I estimate that the row height will be 100. So why do we need to set the estimate? We do the estimation to increase the performance for the table view, because at first it like SQL will not know how height is your table view, and it will use this information, this number, to calculate the estimate height for your whole table view. And by doing that way, it will estimate how should it allocate the scroll view. Let's run and I show you. Okay, so at first it will use that number, the 100, to calculate this one. You see the scroll on the right. So it just use that number to estimate how high is your table view, so it can allocate for the scroll view. If you estimate this one wrongly, so yeah, you should have a good estimate for the cell height. For example, this one for now is around, let's see, what did we set here? So the table view, if you click on the table view, so the height now is 108. So I estimate it's around 100 pixels. So SQL will use that number to just calculate the scroll bar on the right, just to improve the performance of the table view. Nothing else about that one. Okay, so after we set that one, you see now we have so this cell, obviously it's higher than this cell, right? And this one you see the upright is two lines. It has some space here, right? So how much is the space here? Any guess? 12. Yep. So why did I set that one? Let's go back to this one. This one will help you to understand. Okay, so we have on this one, we have this one is the table view cell. Okay, we had image view here. We had the text here, the label. Actually, is that the label. So when we set this one, so meaning that I'm happy if this one is larger than 10 pixels, and this one larger than 10 pixels. So for the constraint, it need to satisfy both. So as long as this one larger than 10 pixels or this one larger than 10 pixels, I'm okay. So for example, in this case, if the for example, in this case, if the text is higher than the picture, right, higher than the image, so this one it will set to be exactly 10 pixels, and this one of course it will higher than 10 pixels, it will larger than 10 pixels, right? And in this case, it will your table view height, table view cell height will be like this. It will set to be like this, and in this case, obviously it satisfies both constraints, right? This one of course larger than 10, and this one equal to 10, so it satisfies both. Same thing for this one. If the text is shorter, in this case the text is shorter, so the table your image view will drive the cell height, right? So it will set the 10 pixels from the bottom of the image, and this one of course will have larger than 10. So when you set that one, you use two inequality constraints, and you will be able to set the height. It will be driven by either the text or the image, right? Clear? Any question on this one? Okay. Yes. If you don't set the constraint, for example, in this case, very obvious that your text always higher than the image, so it should be okay. You know for sure your text is higher, then you don't need to set the constraint here. You never had some case like the image is higher than the text, and you don't need to set here. It still works. this just like general case. You may have the test bigger or the test smaller. Then this is you can use that technique to set. Okay. So that's about the auto layout layer. When we during the this week lab we'll practice more about this one. But that's it for now. So we will take a short break before we come back.